I'm the one that's usually.
Sent out a search party.
Good evening and welcome to the Municipality of Monroeville's regular council meeting for November 12th, 2019. It is approximately 7:09 p.m. If we'd all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Roll call, please.
Mayor Griesbach?
Here.
Mr. Gatos?
Here.
Mr. Poach?
Here.
Mr. Harvey?
Here.
Mr. Johns?
Mr. Johns is here, and I told my grandkids I'd wave to him.
Hi, JJ.
Mr. Arasinko?
He's going to be out of.
Aye,
Mr. Duncan?
Here.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Little?
Here.
Mr. Ratcher?
Here.
Ms. Rock?
Here.
Mr. Hugus?
Here.
Mr. Sedlak?
Here.
Mr. Weldon?
Here.
Very good. We're going to open up the floor for public comment on proposed agenda items only. Is there anyone here to comment about any proposed agenda items? Seeing none, we're going to close that portion, and we have a presentation from Mark Forrester, Nova Insurance. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Let me see my first. Yeah, that's set up then.
Men's warehouse. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time this evening. I know this is a busy time for everyone with budget going on and everything, but wanted to touch base with you on the insurance renewals for 2020. My name is Mark Forrester with Nova Insurance Services here in Monroeville, and I did give you a brief description of my background in municipal insurance, over 30 years in municipal and EMS fire insurance, as well as public elected official and appointed official for nearly 30 years. Currently on the board of the Allegheny County Housing Authority. Previously, actually on the board here of the ERC when we merged the Eastern Regional 911 centers. I sat in your seats, and I also sat similar to your seats in the borough of Swissvale as councilman, mayor, and committee chair. So I understand what you guys go through on a daily basis, and I certainly can respect what you do, and thank you as a business owner in Monroeville. Thank you very much for your service. We took a process, and I want to give you at least a brief detail of how we get to this point in getting you your insurance quotes. We gathered the current policies, we analyzed your current coverage, we assessed the potential needs for the upcoming year, we gathered additional underwriting information, then we submitted this information to possible municipal carriers. We approached a total of 14 insurance companies to provide coverage for the municipality, and you see the results of that in your packet. We then conversed with the underwriters from the carriers and responded to their underwriting inquiries. We scheduled risk assessment on-site inspections. We received quotes from the carriers, negotiated final terms with those carriers, assembled a comparison and assessing coverage for possible gaps in coverage, and worked with carriers to create a loss control game plan. I want to thank Joe Sedlak for his help. I bombarded him with emails with this underwriting information, the questions that we needed, and there's a lot of information, including the on-site inspection from one of the insurance companies that it takes a long time for them to go through the municipality to determine if that's a risk that they want to take on. So thank you, Joe, for that. Very helpful in that. So you see the marketing results. On the property and casualty, your current provider, McKee, writes through CNA, your current premium is $329,723. That includes the property, inland marine, general liability, employee benefits, commercial auto, crime, excess liability, public officials liability, employment practices liability, and law enforcement liability. So your total expiring is $329,000. The results of our marketing yielded some good results this year. We came up with McKee offering through PMA $285,048, One Beacon $428,813, and Euclid Managers, another public entity provider, $290,623. You have a separate bus policy that's not going to be needed this year, so there'll be a savings of $7,537. We're going to recommend you include cyber liability coverage, very important coverage for you to have, and that additional would cost an additional $63.57. But with the net savings that the municipality is seeing, I think that's a wise additional
Mark,
investment.
up till now, to your knowledge, we didn't have cyber coverage?
You currently do not have it, to the best of my knowledge, yes. Under your workers' compensation is the next
Mark,
page.
can you explain to
Yes.
council what actually that covers? Like you and I talked this afternoon. So
Sure.
everybody
If there's a
understands.
cyber attack against the municipality, someone gets into the computer system of the municipality, a couple of things can happen. First of all, the data can be breached and someone's information can get out. You do all the best you can to the firewalls and all the protection you possibly can do, but of course we know things change every day, and these people are smarter than we are at times. And so until we catch up to that, there's a potential breach of that. Some information reaches to the wrong hands and they do damage to an individual. So that individual might come back and sue the municipality for not protecting their information in the proper way. So we included a $1 million liability coverage in that event. Also, the recreation, you might go to there might be a high cost associated internally with finding out who did it, protecting it from happening again, and recreating the information that you have internally. So they call it first-party and third-party coverage of $1 million, but very important, and we highly recommend that you purchase that for this year. Under the workers'
Oh, wait,
compensation.
can I ask a question?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we wanted to ask about,
Yeah.
about the
The ransom?
Ransomware.
Like how they can hold you ransom?
Yeah, it's happened. It's happened recently in the city of Pittsburgh Housing Authority and the Allegheny County Housing Authority, held for ransom.
Is that inclusive in this?
It is not. It is not. So the insurance company will come in and they will show you how to recreate your documents and how to get back into your computers without paying that ransom. Hopefully, you won't have to pay that ransom.
Okay.
But it will not pay the ransom expense.
But they will come
associated
back
with
in
it.
and help you get past or around or through
Yes,
it?
yes.
So there's
Nah,
some kind
no,
of.
it's recovering the data. No, so it's kind of like having hostage, there's different elements of that that are in place too. So, I mean, let's proceed by all means,
Yes.
as we stand.
What's
Yeah.
more than we have now?
But we'll look into that. And also,
Yeah,
another
I'll
question.
look and see if there is insurance for that actual ransom
Yeah,
component.
it's
No, but this isn't insurance, this isn't the guy that's gonna fix it.
No, I understand. Yeah, it's broken. I understand that. And then the other piece is to ask if there's been some increases in security surveillance as well as assessments, if there's credit for that too. We've had some assessments recently done that we can provide to you.
Anything that you can give to me,
We'll do
I
that.
will forward to the carrier, and we will ask for credits
Right.
for those items, yes.
Great.
Okay,
That's
that's
all
all. We'll
good.
do that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's excellent.
Yeah,
Sure.
And so ransomware and then credit for security assessments.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's any other programs that they have, who's the carrier, PMA?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So they're pretty adept at a number of those things too. So
Right.
there's some suggestions on that. I think those are great ideas to work with.
Okay, we'll do that. I'll follow up with you on that. On the workers' compensation, currently, you have the state fund for the volunteer fire departments. You have Harry Housing and Redevelopment Insurance Exchange for the rest of the municipal coverage. The total combined premium is $366,941. The renewal offer from Harry is $345,809. The state fund does not have their numbers to us yet. We're doing our best to get that. I'm estimating it's going to be around $43,000 for their renewal offer. And COVA did come in, the company that did the loss control inspection, they did come in and they included an offer to the municipality for not only the municipal coverage, but for the volunteer fire coverage. Their total offer is $374,022. Under your EMS coverage, we also approached other carriers on the property and liability. We approached Travelers, Penn Prime, GIG, and Trident. And then under the work comp, we approached AmTrust as well. Under the Monroeville EMS, currently you're paying through UPMC $41,721. Their renewal is, we were able to get them down to $27,381. Under the Monroeville Fire Companies, your expiring is 148,046. We're estimating the renewal. We don't have that final number yet of 153,967. The next page is a summary of all your insurance, property, and liability coverages. You'll see a decrease under the property and liability of $44,675 this year. You'll see the savings on the bus policies, because you won't need that. You'll see the increase that I included for the cyber liability, $63.57. The work comp will go up $7,000 at a minimum. I should say that's the best renewal offer. So the work comp would go up $7,000. The EMS work comp will go down $14,000 though. The VFC, we're anticipating about $5,000 increase. So you'll see a decrease next year of $47,000, roughly, give or take, in that range. So it's a good result from this year's marketing efforts.
Art,
Yes.
the decrease in the policy cost, does that ensure us of the same type of coverage we've had in the past?
Good question, which is the next two pages. I included the current limits and the renewal limits on the policies, and we certainly are making sure that you have as good or better coverage with as good or better insurance companies. So, but you can expect to see this from us every year, this kind of thorough review of your insurance policies, and come back to you as council and mayor with that report. We also take a lot of pride in working with you in loss control. So this coming year, we're setting up a series of classes for the municipality through your insurance carriers. The four that we're looking at this year are traffic incident management, intersection safety, recruitment and retention, and cancer and the firefighter. Traffic incident management is going to be for all your personnel, or whoever can attend: fire, EMS, police, road crew. It's the state and the Federal Highway Administration are trying to get everyone on the same page as far as traffic incident management. This is an excellent class sponsored by VFIS, and an excellent trainer is going to come in and do this sometime this spring. Intersection safety: most bad accidents obviously occur at intersections. You can't have enough of this training, so we're going to do a student level class.
Is VFIS the one sponsoring this?
Yeah, some of these are sponsoring, and some they're sponsoring in conjunction with.
I've taken several classes from VFIS,
Yeah.
I've never taken a bad one.
Yeah, they're really good. They really invest a lot back into emergency services to.
And to echo what Ron was saying, I too have as well, and they're also available. They're advantageous for continuing education credits and a bunch of other things. So they do a good job. It's terrific. We're working with them.
Yes. The third is recruitment and retention, and the fourth is cancer and the firefighter, which I actually took part in urging the insurance companies to get involved with this, to not only work with prevention. Firefighters today have so much exposure, more than ever, to cancer, and the awareness level is really never where it should be, and because their exposure is very high, as well as the awareness of what they need to do to document their exposure to cancer. So, working with Bill Genoway from Gladfelter, we put together this program, Cancer and the Firefighter, and that's also a class we're going to have just for Monroeville officers and firefighters and EMS and police, if they would like to attend. So that type of loss control and education and training is, in my opinion, priceless going forward. And if you see any other classes that we can help sponsor, we'll certainly get the trainers in here. I believe that's all. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know you're busy. Thank you again. We appreciate certainly the hard work that you all do, and thank you for the opportunity to serve you.
You're welcome. Excellent
Thank
job,
you.
Mark. Anyone
Very
have any
nice.
questions for Mr. Mark?
Very
Thank
nice
you so much.
presentation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great job.
Good
Okay.
job.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have an executive session announcement that council conducted an executive session for personnel and litigation reasons prior to the budget hearing and Citizens Night, Thursday, November 7th, beginning at 6 p.m. until 6:30 p.m., and on Tuesday this evening, November 12th, 2019, beginning at 6:30 until 7 p.m. Council legislative action, if any, shall be taken at tonight's November 12th council meeting. Council, we have the minutes in front of you of Citizens Night meeting of October 3rd, 2019, the council work session of October 3rd, 2019, and the regular council meeting of October 8th, 2019. Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
moved.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
The motion is second. And just so everyone is aware, we've discussed all these things at the work session on November 7th. Any other additions, council? Motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Arasinko?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
The ayes have it. We have our reports of the tax collections. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Arasinko?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. List of bills and budget transfers. I'm seeking a motion.
Motion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Any comments or questions, council? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Arasinko?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
The ayes have it. And the payroll report. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Arasinko?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Council, moving over to our vacancies on boards, commissions, and authorities. In your packet, it's the blue piece of paper, blue page, if you would. Mrs. Gatos, anything this evening?
If I may, I'd like to ask that we just make a motion to approve everyone, nominate everyone.
Well, we can't do that. I have,
We can nominate everyone tonight and then make appointments at the next, so that way we don't have to
We
go
do
through
that,
every
Paul?
single name and board and.
Yeah,
Sure you
yeah,
can.
you're just nominating
We're
We're just
everybody.
nominating
You
everyone.
still make
that's
your
listed.
decision, and you'll do that individually.
We did that at the end of last year as well.
Correct.
good.
So
I
I'd like
agree.
to see if anyone else would,
I'm in.
okay,
So
Second.
Second.
a second.
there's a motion, a second to
That's good. That's good.
nominate, not to appoint, but to
To
nominate.
Nominate everyone that has,
I like that. That's
Send
that
in
new
a
suit. It
interest.
has an influence on you.
Okay, do we need to read into the record who?
Oh, it's part of the, I mean, it's on the list, unless there's somebody who's not on the list that you intend to have nominated.
Okay, has council had a moment to review the list?
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
There's a motion and a second to approve or to nominate, I'm sorry, everyone on the list.
yes.
Correct.
Very good.
Well-
All in,
Why don't we do a roll?
Yeah,
I will. All in favor of, so I'm sorry, there's a motion and a second. Comments?
yes, please. For example, I have two candidates for my water authority, and I only want one of the candidates considered, and that's all I have. That's the only, where I have multiple candidates.
Yeah, but you're nominating everybody.
We're just
You're gonna pick
nominating
somebody.
But another thing I don't
Later.
understand is, what's the big deal? You just go down the list and,
We did this last year. It was just time.
I know,
saving,
but
you
that
guys are now
doesn't mean it
making
was
this-
right.
Well, it doesn't mean it was wrong either.
But saves time, so it's
Yes, okay, so
Historically, it's always been done,
we
you
did
know.
this last year.
just saving time.
it doesn't mean it was right. I realize you did it last year.
So there is a motion and a second.
Yeah.
There's a motion and a
Not
second
right.
to nominate everyone. We're going to do a roll call vote. If you vote in the affirmative, what you're doing is nominating everyone on the list.
Correct.
If
And
you're voting
pick
no,
somebody
you're
for
saying
next
that you
one.
don't want to do it in this manner. Everyone understands that?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Very good. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Arasinko?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
No.
Mr. Wilson?
Oh,
The ayes have it. Council, moving over to our bids and proposals. We have one this evening, the municipal building roof overlay bid. Mr. Little, please.
As we discussed on Thursday evening at the agenda-setting meeting, we received 1, 2, 3, 4 bids. And as I had recommended, G&W Roofing at $240,000, even though Tennis Roofing and Asphalt was lower, $232,279. However, they did not pick up as required addendas number 2 and number 3. Due to that, I believe they should be disqualified. And G&W Roofing, I'm seeking a motion from council to award the bid to G&W Roofing for $240,000.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any other comments or questions, council? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Arcinigo?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Skatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving over to our consent agenda, our new business, we have one item this evening, 19-5-SUB, Victor Paluso. Mr. Little.
Yeah, this is Victor Paluso, applicants requesting a preliminary and final subdivision approval of tax parcel 640N306 and 640N304. Applicant proposes to subdivide the two lots so that Lot 1A has a total of 7,501.52 square feet, and Lot 1B has a total of 15,829.33 square feet. Properties are located at 294 Alva Way and 2217 Mount Pleasant Road in the R2 one-family residential zoning district. Planning Commission has approved this application.
So move.
Oh, any problem?
Let's get a second on that first.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Go ahead, Mr. Harvey.
I was just asking Mr. Weldon if there was any problem with this.
All comments have been addressed.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Council? We have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Skatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Arcinigo?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving over to our motions, we have three motions this evening. Mr. Little.
Okay, first is a motion to approve the settlement and release of the Verizon complaint. We discussed this at the Thursday work session, and this has to do with actually a national class action suit where Monroeville will be receiving a small amount of money, relatively speaking, of $20,000 due to late fees that not being included in the total revenue. And three other municipalities across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania have joined in with us on this settlement.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Any comments or questions, council? Nope. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Arcinigo?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Skatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Mr. Little.
Okay, the second one is a motion to approve the Vesley settlement.
So move.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Skatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Arcinigo?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Mr. Little.
Okay, the third is a motion to authorize to advertise an ordinance authorizing the proper officials of Monroeville to enter into a collective bargaining agreement for the years 2019 to 2022 with the Police Department Wage and Policy Committee of the Municipality of Monroeville.
Motion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Any comments, council? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Arcinigo?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Skatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving over to reports of municipal staff. Mr. Ratcher, anything this evening?
Nothing for you, Mayor.
Very good. Mr. Little.
Yeah, as I mentioned on Thursday evening, Northern Pike will be repaired by PennDOT beginning January and hopefully ending in May. About right past Abers Creek Road heading west on Northern Pike. There's about 800-foot section that is going to be the slide there. The embankment is falling off. You can see from the guide rail tilting over. That has to be repaired, and they figured it's going to take about 5 months. Traffic will still go through in one lane, so that'll begin in January of this new year.
I have one question about that.
Sure.
And it's an easy one. Do you think maybe you could find a way to buy me a helicopter? So I can get home.
There you go.
I make a motion.
Give you a zip line, JJ.
You can zip line down there.
Zip line's better, Jim.
Okay, the second item is that Sunoco has informed me in an email that they'd be doing some maintenance work on Abers Creek Road. And how long it'll be, I think just this week, if maybe next week. In fact, they may be done with it right now. But I thought the public should be aware of that. If anybody sees anybody there, they should have identification, probably even in uniform with Sunoco. And also, number 3 is the 2020 terrain event. Next year will be on October 10th and 11th. That is the dates that have been set. The terrain event occurred at the same time the second weekend in October this year, and is a successful event, and we've decided to do it again with Visit Monroeville.
Is that Mr. Arsico? I see you there in the front.
Oh, no.
It will be next year.
I think in spirit.
No, I thought that was Mr. Wilson.
I'm way at the back.
I'm with you.
Okay, and the last item is the annual tree lighting festivities at the Old Stone Church will be Tuesday, November the 26th at 7 p.m. Okay, and that concludes my report.
Oh, man, it's cold.
Mr. Hugus,
No, sir.
any comments? No, good.
Good.
I'm saving my comments for Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Atta girl.
Can't wait.
And she's referring to the next budget hearing that we're having this Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move over to our public comment section on any municipal item. If there's anyone from the public that would like to comment on any municipal item, now would be your chance. Seeing none, we're going to close that portion of the meeting, and we're going to move over to reports of our council members. Mrs. Gatos.
I would like to wish my son a happy birthday on Friday, my dad next week, and everybody a happy Thanksgiving. And drive safe. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Poach.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. That's it, sir.
Mr. Harvey.
Happy Thanksgiving, and one final reading here of the meeting for the residents concerning the stormwater problems along the Logans Ferry Road area. The letter that went out, the Municipality of Monroeville and Ward 3 Councilman Ron Harvey would like to inform you that an informational meeting will be conducted on Wednesday, December 11th at 7 p.m. in the council chambers in the Monroeville Municipal Building at 2700 Monroeville Boulevard regarding stormwater issues in the Logans Ferry Road area. That has been mailed out. It has now been read twice at meetings. That'll be the last you hear from me. And one more time, my sincere condolences to the Smith family. Smitty was a good friend. He was known by a lot of people. He did a lot of things for the community, not to mention the Monroeville Police Department and all the years he served with them. He was an honest, trustworthy, very consistent, hardworking officer. He taught me a lot. He was my friend, and he will be missed.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Mr. Johns.
Yeah, just briefly, I just want to remind everybody that Santa's Kids, again this year, their Christmas event is December the 9th at Paul Mary's. It's an event hosted by the Voice of the Steelers, Billy Hillgrove. It's the event we do raising money to buy toys and food for families in this area and many surrounding areas. With that, I am done.
Jimmy, before you run, just let them know how many families you took care of last year.
Last year, we did 435 children, and each child gets a toy between $50 and $60 that they ask for. We shop it, buy it, wrap it, deliver it, and each family gets a $50 Giant Eagle food certificate.
Good job, Jim.
Thank you.
Nice job, Mr.
Very much. And it's not just in Monroe, we do Monroeville, Pitcairn, we do a lot of the areas in the surrounding area.
Excellent organization.
Thank you
Doing a
very
great
much.
job with it. Mr. Arsico.
Okay, I have a few things I'd like to bring up.
Water buffaloes.
Obviously, for the Smith family, deepest condolences. Smitty was all our friend. He was our bud for sure. I want to bring up an issue that I'll be bringing up to the State Boroughs Association, and it has to do with auto insurance. You all may not know that we are the second lowest minimum for auto insurers for cars in the nation. Florida's only lower. And that's usually for bad drivers. The problem with it is, and if we can get back to the basic minimum where most people have the 100 and 300,000 and so on, 50,000 for medical, if you get in a wreck and it's one of these drivers, guess whose insurance has to pick up the rest? We do. And it raises your average cost on most cars at least $200 to $400 a year because of that. So I'm going to bring that up as an issue. I'll give you more information on that. Just think about this. Airbags alone, if they go off, that's $4,000. didn't count, but they did damage to your car. So you see, and I think it's the $10,000 minimum is the actual minimum here in the state for auto wrecks. That's crazy, okay? Second thing at the state, the radar issue looks like it may pass. We're hoping. So please, everybody listening, not just Monroeville that's listening, please contact your senators. Also, there are 6 different bills or issues for the fire department look like they're going to pass. Now, I know there was quite a few more that went up. I'll go in more detail once I know they get passed, one at a time or whatever. They're all being considered. I want to let everybody know I will not be at this meeting on Thursday. I'll be at the Allegheny County League of Municipalities meeting, which I certainly represent not only Monroeville, but 88 other communities in Allegheny County. The other nice thing is that, and thanks to my colleagues here for supporting me, I appreciate every one of you supporting me. I now got pushed up to the Pennsylvania State Bars Association. I'll be one of 40 people that infect the entire state as far as bills go to
We all have to do
Harrisburg,
You gonna do
water
that?
buffalo.
etc. What's that?
Supreme water buffaloes.
Supreme Water Buffalo.
Yeah, we all have to do the water buffalo symbol
Hey,
down.
Doug, you can do something with them.
We have to buy you a white hat now.
Give
Yeah,
them a white,
Yeah, white hat, there you go.
congratulations.
well done,
Congratulations.
Greg, congratulations.
Very
Thank
good,
you
very
for-
good.
Because of you guys supporting me, and obviously my Fifth Ward residents and all the residents of Monroeville.
And your wife.
It'll certainly the
Yeah.
boss, my other boss. But, and last but not least, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And don't forget, I know it was yesterday, to thank a veteran, or anybody in military
Yes.
uniform. And that's all I have.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Arasinko. Mr. Duncan?
Yeah, I was not here Thursday, and I just want to also give my condolences to the Smith family. And I do have a daughter that's in the Air Force. And happy Thanksgiving. That's all I have.
Mr. Wilson?
She's still in.
Yeah.
I'd just like to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving and drive safely tonight. That's all, thanks.
And I'll finish up. We have there's an event coming up at the Senior Center. The Senior Citizens Center has a craft show that's going to be occurring here on November 30th, Saturday. That is Small Business Saturday, right after Thanksgiving, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., free admission, over 40 vendors. Proceeds benefit the Council of Senior Citizens there at the Senior Center. And as some of my colleagues said, happy Veterans Day, a day late, but we do have a few veterans up here sitting with us. Thank you for your service, and to all of the men and women that have served our country out in our community. One of them being Mr. Lou Smith, who once again will certainly be missed. So with that, I'll seek a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you and good
Hey,
night.
Greg, when you talk,